Hello YouTube and welcome back to Let's Play Bloons Wiki Deluxe Edition. In this episode I'm going to do the same thing as last time except on a track and blah 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 blah. I don't know why I always say this episode because that's what I do and stuff. So anyways, same day as last time, just a few minutes after I recorded last episode. It doesn't make a big difference, just means I don't get the starting monkey money cash thing bonus. Whatchamahoosit. So, let's see, what's the next stage I'm going to? The Rink Revenge. Which, no, not that one. The Rink Revenge. So I think, because this has water, I'm going to use the Buccaneers, because that's always nice to use water towers when you can use water, or when there is water on the track, just because I really enjoy the Buccaneers. And then especially with the, well actually, you know what, even going to pause again, just to go back, increases attack speed of all Buccaneers by 10%, so yeah, that's nice. And then also it grants camo detection to anything within its range after you buy the camo upgrade, because it will inherently have camo detection. So this is pretty interesting. I never actually played Rink Revenge, so I didn't actually realize how it was different necessarily. Hopefully this is a good enough position. I suppose it would be the same as if it was on the other side as well, but I can see why it would be a little bit more difficult, but it doesn't seem that much more difficult, I suppose. Although like I said, I haven't actually played through here, so I don't exactly know how difficult it's going to be. But anyways, I have the specialty building to allow the Monkey Buccaneer camo detection inherently, and then, like I already said, when you buy the upgrade to give it camo detection, the Crow's Nest upgrade, it will grant camo detection to any towers within its range. And additionally to that, I have the deluxe upgrade for the Dreadnought, which allows it to pop lead balloons as well by shooting out fiery cannonball rather than just normal darts, which, like I said, is very helpful. Well, I think I said that, but it'll be helpful specifically for camo lead detection, which I feel like that was a big deal in Bloons Start Event Battles than it is in this game, because I think there's only one round that has camo lead detection, or that has camo lead. And that's round 59, which by the time I get to round 59, I'm pretty sure I'll have decent attack power, decent camo detection, camo lead detection, because a lot of towers can have camo lead detection. Basically all towers can have camo detection if you include the Monkey Village, and then technically also they could all have lead popping ability if you give it the Monkey Intelligence Bureau, but aside from that, the only towers that have camo lead detection or camo lead popping would be Dart Monkey, either with enhanced eyesight and the deluxe upgrade for popping, or for the dart popping exploding darts, or the tier 4 left side upgrade, so a 4-2 Dart Monkey or a 4-0 Monkey, because that will give it the Juggernaut upgrade, and that will allow its Spike-a-Pult thing to be really powerful and pop lead and camo balloons. Tack Shooter does not have any camo detection within its upgrades, but it does have the Ring of Fire for a lead popping ability. Boomerang Thrower has lead popping ability with its red hot rings, and then the only way to give it camo detection is to get the Glaive Lord, which is really expensive. Not entirely sure how worth it is all the time, or how much it really is worth what it is, I guess. Sniper Monkey, I think it has lead popping inherently, but then there's an upgrade that lets you completely destroy lead balloons, and then there's a camo upgrade on its right side, pretty cheap. Ninja Monkey has camo detection inherently, and then with the Flash Bomb upgrade, you can get it to pop lead balloons. Bomb Tower, no camo detection, but it's inherently able to pop lead balloons pretty well. Glue Gunner, again, no camo detection, but with corrosive glue it can pop leads. Ice Tower, again, no camo detection, but with its Snap Freeze upgrade it can pop leads, I think. And then Buccaneer, already explained that. Monkey Ace, it can pop camo balloons with one of its upgrades, and it can drop pineapples with one of its upgrades, and those pineapples can pop lead, but it's not that efficient at popping lead until you get the Spectre upgrade, which is really expensive, and then it's basically like a Dartling gun that has auto aim, which is really amazing, and it has explosive power, so that can pop lead. Monkey Apprentice can inherently pop lead. I had a bit of confusion about that earlier, but it can pop lead, and then it has an upgrade for popping camo. Super Monkey can pop lead with the Plasma Vision upgrade, and also the Robo Monkey upgrade, if I remember correctly, but it doesn't have any camo defense, which seems slightly odd. Like, even the Temple of the Monkey God doesn't have camo detection, I think, unless you give it something with camo detection, I think, or like Monkey Village or whatever. Banana Farm doesn't pop any balloons. Obviously, doesn't have radar or camo detection. Monkey Village doesn't. Well, it can pop balloons. I'm pretty sure it can pop lead with its laser, and then but that's really expensive. And then the radar scanner allows camo detection, which now I'm interested if it has camo detection without the radar scanner. I don't think it does, but that's kind of interesting to think about. Anyways, Mortar Tower can pop lead inherently, and then it also can pop camo inherently, but then it has an upgrade that de-camouflages camo balloons, which is really helpful. Dartling Gun has camo detection inherently and needs an upgrade for lead popping. And I did just lose a couple lives, and a couple more lives, wow. And here we go, got Destroyer. Now I shouldn't lose any more lives, at least for a while, I suppose. And Spike Factory, I probably could have bought that Destroyer upgrade before I lost lives, but anyways, Spike Factory has camo detection inherently, and then it has an upgrade for lead popping ability. Monkey Engineer has no lead popping or camo detection inherently, but it can get both of those with the same upgrade, actually, with the cleansing foam. I think that pops lead, I don't remember. And then Balloon Chipper has an upgrade for lead popping, but does not have any camo. So that was a pretty long explanation for not much reason of just going through explaining which ones have camo lead detection and which one doesn't. I was kind of just talking about that because I didn't know what else to talk about, and I just kind of got caught on talking about it, I guess, if that makes sense. Just kind of got stuck talking about it, but anyways, I'm going to place a Buccaneer on that side. Because I enjoy the Buccaneers, they can pop every type of balloon, and they have really good attack rate and pretty good range, and of course camo detection, which will then grant camo detection to my other towers once I place them. But yeah, Destroyer's pretty good. They are kind of expensive, but they're not as expensive for how powerful they are. They're pretty cost efficient, which is really nice. And of course, having two of them on opposite sides of the track will be pretty helpful. Very helpful to each other, just because then they're both basically popping half the balloons, which is pretty helpful. And obviously one was able to pop pretty much all the balloons, except for that one round, which again I probably could have seen coming, use a couple of road spikes or something, so I could have prevented those lives from being lost, but it's fine, I suppose. Yeah, I feel really bored, obviously, if you can tell, and I feel like because I'm bored, I am being boring with my commentary, but I think, I'm sure I've got like 3 episodes of SAS4 up by now, or at least 2, or, yeah, I should have 2 up by now, and then the 3rd one should be coming out today. In case any of you were wondering, if for some reason you're not subscribed to me, but you still watch my videos, like on a regular basis or something, I did start posting SAS4, in case, again, somehow you're not noticing that I am posting those. It's per request. It was my first time playing in that first episode, so still open to all feedback on how to play better or how to make the commentary better, I suppose. Basically just how to make it a better Let's Play for you guys. Obviously I'll be doing my best to actually work on it on my own, you know, with my own ideas on how to make it better or whatever, but commentary from you guys is always helpful on that regard. So I guess that's pretty much it. And if there's any of you that are watching this because you watched my SAS4 and figured, oh hey, maybe I should watch his other videos, then thank you for coming over here to this side of my channel, I suppose, to these series of videos. Obviously, this is episode 140, I think, so there's a lot to catch up on if you haven't really seen any. And you don't really need to catch up, obviously, it's just if you want to catch up. There's plenty of videos for you to watch, although I'd recommend you probably start watching after episode 100, maybe, or like maybe around episode 80, just because in the beginning I was really boring, like really boring, like more boring than I am right now. It was ridiculous. Like, I went back and watched my first episode, and it was just, how did any of you make it past that? Because, I mean, that episode has, like, way more views than any of these videos do, but, because it's the first episode in the series, which I wish I had made a better first episode so that more people would actually be like, oh, hey, this guy's actually pretty good, I'll keep watching. So, yeah, just throwing that out there. Plenty of videos for you to watch if you're still new to my channel. And I guess you should subscribe. I post a lot of videos, so it might not always be in your best interest to subscribe, because I might start clogging up your subscription feed, just because I post a lot of videos. But if you are interested in all the videos that I post and you do feel like watching them all, then sure, feel free to subscribe. And yeah, while I'm at it, while I'm talking about subscribing and all that, because I don't do this very often, I'm pretty sure liking my video helps. It helps me know that you actually enjoy the video and that I should keep making them, but I'm pretty sure that helps like get the video promoted somehow or something. I'm still not very knowledgeable in that area of what is helpful, I guess, for videos as far as liking and favoriting and stuff. But I suppose it's helpful. I've heard that it's good. What should I get? I think I'm gonna go for Bloon Impact, and I'm gonna get Crow's Nest on these just in case, or not really just in case, but getting them ahead of time just so that I don't have to worry about getting that upgrade eventually. So gonna get Bloon Impact to have it like stall the balloons and give it more time for the destroyers to destroy them, basically. Just because that'll be helpful to increase their attack rate and all that. Or not really increase their attack rate, but increase their pop count. I should get Moab Maulers soon, though. That would actually be pretty important. And I can tell that the destroyers obviously aren't able to pop everything, so a couple of these balloons are actually getting kind of far towards the end of the track, specifically coming around on this bottom side and then almost getting through on this side. And I would say that it's only doing better on this side because of the Bloon Impact. But it is getting close to time to need a Bloon Chipper for the anti-Moab, because I know I said earlier I wanted a Moab Mauler, but at the moment I'm gonna need a Bloon Chipper instead. I kind of want to build another Bloon Impact though, but I'm not gonna have enough for both a Bloon Impact and a Bloon Chipper. And dang. So yeah, now I'm starting to lose lives, which means I should buy something. This only cost 3,975, so I'm going to get a second destroyer, which I kind of don't want to a little bit. I didn't need to get the Crow's Nest on that one, but I almost a little bit don't want to get that second destroyer just because it doesn't quite have the same amount of range. So I kind of feel like it's less effective and not quite worth the money or something like that. But it is still pretty good, doubles the attack rate, so obviously it is pretty good. I'm actually going to build a second one here, right there, or nope, not quite. Yeah, man, shit, there you go. Gonna build a second destroyer. Again, didn't need the Crow's Nest. That was a bit of a waste of money, but gonna sell the Bloon Impact, and I'm gonna place the Bloon Chipper right in the middle, which I would hope is a pretty good position for it. Just need a little bit more money for the faster shred instead of the strongest, because that is out of the range of the Crow's Nest, which is actually kind of good, because for the Bloon Chipper in particular, I only want it to attack Moab class balloons, so I don't need it to worry about camo balloons. Because like I said, it's only focused on Moab class balloons, which it shouldn't make a big deal whether or not it has camo defense or camo detection, because I just don't want it to get distracted by camo balloons and then not pick up a Moab, which doesn't make sense if it's on the strongest setting or strongest targeting setting, just because of how that works. But let's see, what else should I get? At the moment, I don't need to worry about Moabs because one Bloon Chipper, specifically in the middle right there, should be good enough. So I'm going to work on getting some ice towers to slow down balloons while they're within the range of the destroyers, so that the destroyer is a little bit more effective. Because the Bloon Chipper, because of its range, anything right here in the center should be popped, or should be picked up by the Moab Mauler, or not by the Moab Mauler. It should pick up Moabs because it's a Bloon Chipper, and it should have a pretty good range to choose from just because of the large hitbox on the Moab class balloons. And then even when it's down here, if it's a BFB and it makes it all the way down here, I think the Bloon Chipper should still be able to pop that. So the Bloon Chipper right here in the middle is pretty good, in a pretty good position. And Ice Tower, dang, am I still losing lives? Or I got close to losing lives right there. But I still need better attack power. It's really odd, because I mean, I would think that the two destroyers would be good enough, just because they're really powerful. But then, of course, getting the Arctic Wind to help slow down the balloons and make them even more powerful, or make the destroyers even more powerful by giving them more time to pop balloons. So I'm just going to get another ice tower on this side to even it up, so one side isn't more powerful than the other, which isn't necessarily bad. It's just, in comparison, that means that one side is weaker than the other, which is more harmful, I suppose. And I don't know, I've never really liked ice shards, just because the creates razor sharp pieces of ice on frozen balloons that when pop fly out and pop more nearby balloons. I'm pretty sure that means if it's popped by another balloon and not just when it thaws, which makes sense. And here that would actually be pretty decent because of having the destroyers right there. But instead I'm going to go with the Arctic Wind just because the super cold aura that slows down balloons around it is a little bit more effective, I think, than the ice shards. If I could use both, if I could use an Arctic Wind with ice shards, that would be pretty awesome. But obviously I can't. So, at the moment, I think just anti-Moab defense is my weakness. I don't have very strong anti-Moab defense, even though, like I said, Bloon Chipper is pretty good. Not quite enough, I suppose. So let's see, how much range does that have there? Yeah, I could probably just put some Moab class or Moab Maulers on the corners right there, sort of like what I did with Scorched Earth. I feel like I should get some what's called banana farms to help out with the lives and the money. But because I got so powerful in the last episode with the banana farms, I'm gonna try to not use banana farms on this round, just so I don't get too powerful. And let's see, what else can I do? Could use the planes, the monkey ace, to have that. And then I should probably get some boomerang throwers. That's actually what I'm going to do right now. Or actually, no, never mind. I was thinking because I have the specialty building for boomerang throwers, I should get them, but I don't. I have the specialty building for the dreadnought, or for the destroyer. So that's why I'm using those. But let's see. I kind of want to use more destroyers, but I've already realized from previous playing that more destroyers isn't actually the best all the time, and this is actually a little dangerous because of regrow balloons and ice balloons and Bloon Chipper could result in multiplication, which I think it already did result in multiplication, but having 4 destroyers working on it is enough, so that's good. Now I'm actually going to do something that I might sort of, not necessarily regret, but may not be the best idea. I'm going to put a spike factory here. I'm going to save up for spiked mines because they're even more powerful than just a spike ball factory. I'm going to put it here because that's kind of as close to the end of both tracks as I can put it with one tower. Just because that's where they intersect right before they leave, right before the balloons are on their way out of the track, basically. So that's a decent place for a safety net, I suppose. Putting it there not only for a safety net against regular balloons, but also just for Moab class balloons in general, because I know that there's going to be times when there's a whole bunch of Moab class balloons, and the Bloon Chipper is not going to be enough to pop them all. So the spike ball factory is also helpful for dealing with Moab class balloons. Although obviously it's not the best against Moab class balloons, the Moab Shredder spike factory would be even better for Moab class balloons, which I'll probably build a Moab Shredder spike factory thing on the other side of that little intersection, just because that will be a little bit closer to the beginning of where they intersect, which means that Moabs will be more likely to be there rather than on the inside. So, got 2 destroyers actually being able to attack the BFE, and wow, when it's in the middle, both destroyers, or both sides of the destroyers, are able to pop it, so that's pretty cool. Whew. What else? How much is this? 15,000? Yeah, so it's gonna be a while. I don't want to use a monkey village again because I used it in the last episode, so no real reason to use it twice in a row, even though there's no real reason not to use it twice in a row. But I guess I'm trying to use less deluxe upgrades this time, just because I'm using a smaller variety of towers, even though I'm still using technically just as many deluxe upgrades. It's just they're not being in effect, I suppose, if that makes sense. But not being taken advantage of in a good sense, not a bad sense, which it's kind of hard to think of taking advantage of something in a positive way, but just not letting something go to waste, I suppose. Anyways, about 1,000 left, well, a little less than 1,000, about 500 left for the spike mine factory. Then I'll be able to move on to the Moab Shredder spikes. And yeah, I reached another point in the episode where I'm like, meh, maybe I should just fast forward. Because I don't know what else to talk about, and I feel like my commentary is a little bit boring because of my boring attitude. But should be fine, I suppose. Because of moments like this on round 63, where there's a big clump, which is what the destroyer and the ice tower are specifically good at, I suppose, if you can call it being good at it. But well, that is giving it a bit of trouble. But I think they should be okay, especially because of the spike mine safety net that I've got. So even though they did get a little bit past the destroyer, pretty sure it would have been okay even without the spike mines. But the spike mines were definitely helpful. Alright, so if I can make it past 63, should be able to make it past 76 by the time I get all the way over to 76. And of course, as you can see, there were some balloons that made it past all the way to the spike mines. So that's always a little bit worrying, or worrisome, I suppose. Not really worrisome, I'm not sure what the best word for that. It's kind of weird. But not really weird, I suppose, but I think it's funny that even as a native English speaker, like I barely speak any Spanish, but that's the only other language that I can speak any of. Well, I can also speak a little bit of Japanese, but very, very little Japanese. I'm sure my pronunciation's all wrong. But anyways, even with being a native English speaker, there's still a lot of times when I don't know exactly what I'm saying, and I feel like I'm struggling to find the right word, which I don't know why I think that's funny, I guess, just because the English language itself can be pretty difficult. Obviously, it does have a lot of rules to make it less. I guess more rules probably make it more difficult, but depends on how you look at it. But there's always exceptions to every single rule ever, basically. And the rule I before E except after C is actually, there's more exceptions to that rule than there are words that follow the rule, which is just ridiculous, because then why not make the rule I after C except before, or I after E except before C, or something like that. I guess that doesn't roll off the tongue as well, but still, it's more accurate. Again, if there's more words that disobey the rule than obey the rule. So yeah, that's why a lot of times when I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean, or I stumble over what phrasing to word it. I don't know, I feel like I have to defend myself as an English speaker and not as someone who's learning English, even though basically all English speakers are still learning English because of how difficult the language is, and how they keep adding ridiculous words that people make up, and then just all the different words for how many words we have for the definitions of words, and it's just ridiculous how complicated the English language is, which is funny that I think the English language is so complicated, and then I look at like Japanese and Chinese written language, and I'm just totally baffled by how they read it. They're just that it's complicated for me. I don't know if anyone else finds it easy. And I'm curious if any other people that speak other languages, if like English is your second language, did you ever think that your first language was really difficult and think like, oh, how am I supposed to learn this type of thing? Or was it just like, oh yeah, this makes sense, it's easy, and then you look at English language and you're like, why did they make it so complicated? I'm always interested in how other cultures see American culture, and I should emphasize American culture, not necessarily like England, British culture, which I'm assuming the English-British language is similar to American. I mean, I'm sure there's differences, but they're similar enough to where you don't necessarily need to say that you speak a different language to be able to communicate. But I'm sure they probably have different rules, I guess. A little bit different rules, maybe? I don't actually know. I'm kind of just going off my own preconceived assumptions. If any of you are British, which I would assume, and not just British, but just, again, I'm really culturally not knowledgeable. I'm really not culturally literate, I suppose. Again, I don't even know what the right term for that would be. I'm not very culturally educated. So if I say something like, oh yeah, British, and I'm referring to more than just Britain or the UK, is Britain the UK? That's something that I think I've asked before, and I think I got an answer to, but I've already forgotten the answer. Like, is the UK, United Kingdom, is that Britain, or is Britain in the UK? Or the other way around, or something. I don't know. Obviously, very terrible geography. I could probably name a lot of the United States, but I don't know exactly where each of them are. I know the general area, but not, like if I look at a map without any words, I'm not going to be able to tell you where every state is, which is pretty terrible. Geography is something that people should know, just in case they get lost somehow, like abducted or something, which I sort of say lightly as if it's a joke, but that's not actually something you should joke about, because I'm sure there are people that actually do get abducted and taken to other states for some reason or another, which is pretty terrible. But anyways, yeah, really terrible at geography in America, so I'm definitely going to be terrible at geography everywhere else. So I am interested in how the whole Britain-UK thing works. And if I say British, what area does that bring to mind for you guys? Specifically for the people that would consider themselves British, or you would think I would consider British, if that makes sense. So yeah, and I know that when people say like, oh, the British accent, like that's pretty much as generic as saying the American accent, because there's so many different accents in America, and I'm assuming that also means that there's a bunch of accents that would sort of fall under the category of British, even though it's not just one specific accent, which I think is kind of interesting. I basically like all accents except American, just because I've grown up with American accent, so it doesn't sound like an accent to me, so then everything else sounds kind of cool. Probably some accents I don't think are as amazing as like British and Australian and Irish and Scottish, and German's okay, I suppose. Russian's kind of cool, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what other languages would be interesting to know about as far as how the native speakers of those languages would see how hard that is. And especially Google Translate. I know that Google Translate has a bad reputation for being really bad, but I haven't I was gonna say I haven't had an experience where it was necessarily bad, but I wouldn't actually know if it was a bad translation because I don't speak any other languages to double check it. But yeah, there was one time, I think I've mentioned this before in one of my videos, so you might remember it if you're a long-time subscriber or something, but there was a time when I was playing this game online with someone. It was like, I think it was a team game, or it might have just been one player, I don't remember, but what was it? I was playing this game, it was some Flash game online, I think the game was called Minions, I don't remember, and I remember chatting with this one specific person on the other team, or it might have been on my team. The details are very fuzzy because it was years ago, but I was talking to the person and they mentioned something about they didn't speak very much English, so I just said like, where are you from? And I think they said from Hungary, or they said whatever language they spoke. I don't remember what it was. I think they said they were in Hungary. But then I went to Google Translate and I typed in my message, translated it to their language, and then posted it in the chat saying that I posted it from Google Translate, and then they would post something to me, I would copy paste it, put it in Google Translate, translate it to English, and then just communicate with them that way. And it wasn't like some big in-depth strategic advice conversation or anything, it was just a generic, hello, how are you, what time is it there, or whatever. And at the end of the match, they were saying goodnight, and I thought that was really cool because it was like 10 in the morning for me. So just having that time difference, language barrier gap bridged, being able to bridge that language barrier and time zone difference, I thought that was pretty cool. Even if Google Translate wasn't perfect and it probably made some errors or whatever, it was cool just to have that bridge gap bridged, not the bridge gapped, but to have that gap bridged was really interesting to me. And that's something that's kind of cool about YouTube as well, that even if you don't understand a single word I'm saying, if you're just watching this to learn how to beat this level or something, then I think that's pretty awesome. And if that is the case, then you're not understanding what I'm saying, you don't even know what I'm saying, and I'm not technically talking to you then, but you know what I mean. Those of you that do understand what I mean. But yeah, I just think that's really cool. That YouTube can bridge that gap. Yeah, bridge the gap. Okay. So yeah, that's basically it for that little rant. It's around 77. And I think around 63, I said I didn't know what else to talk about. That's really around 78, getting around 85. This is a pretty powerful defense. I've got 16,000 cash. I don't really know what else I need to buy. Guess I could just buy some more spike factories to defend this corner a little bit better. Yeah, and I don't need to worry about Moab class balloons so much because apparently the balloon impact, or not balloon impact, balloon shipper, the balloon shipper is pretty good. Just need a spike ball factory and then work on another spike ball factory on the other side rather than go for another spike mine. Because like I said, I don't need to worry so much about Moab class balloons, because even if the balloon shipper doesn't pop it, having that massive minefield of spike factories and everything should be able to get rid of them pretty well. Obviously, this is round 78, so there's a bunch of ceramic clumpy streams that can get through or can't get through that giant spike minefield thing. So yeah. And again, the bloon shipper is always a problem when dealing with regrow bloons, but having the mobs there to distract it from the regrow bloons is pretty helpful. And the regrow bloons definitely don't really stand much of a chance against the spiked mine field thing, although they are multiplying because of the ice tower and the bloon shipper. So I think when I said they have no chance, I should have said they're gonna kill me right now. So it's not gonna take very long for them to get through there. I'm just gonna let them get through rather than do anything to try to stop it, because I'm gonna have to get continue here. Continue, yes, for 200 monkey money. Alright, so what I'm gonna need to do for that is I'm actually gonna hold shift while I don't really know where to place it though. It doesn't really matter, I suppose. Gonna hold shift so I can place multiple, and I'm moving kind of slow because the holding shift also apparently makes the game go a bit slower. So I'm gonna only hold shift when I'm actually placing the tower, but gonna put about 6 on each of these little corner, or not really corners, but side things, and then upgrade them all to glaive ricochet. Upgrade that one to glaive ricochet. And I'm doing this so that, oh man, don't have enough money. So then I'm actually going to sell these because they would be a little less important. And I've got all these glaive ricochet. Do I have enough money for the rest of these? I think I do. I do. Alright. So that should be enough to deal with all those regrow rainbows because of the glaive ricochet, which actually I didn't give them the ability to pop through pop through ice bloons, frozen bloons, which shouldn't be that bad because they'll still be able to pop anything that gets past the ice bloons, which should be fine, especially because there's 6 of them, and they do have double Ranga, so that's 12 on each side, which means 24 layers total, so they should be fine, even if it does get a little bit farther than the ice towers. Like I said, they should be fine, but just in case, I'm going to start upgrading them to get the sonic boom, so that they're able to pop through ice bloons, or not ice bloons, frozen bloons. And I think I got it all, but it's going kind of slow because there's so many bloons and so many spike factories and everything. I'm just going to double check on all these that they all have sonic boom, and that should be good. I don't need red hot rings because there's no lead bloons. Don't need to worry about lead bloons. It's just the frozen bloons that they would have any kind of problem with. And I'm actually surprised that they're not doing quite as well as I thought they would. Makes sense because there are a whole bunch of bloons, but they should be helping, I think. I really hope they are because yeah, I do need their help. They should be doing okay. It does look like they're helping. Should be able to survive this. But it's just really interesting, especially because it makes the game go so slow. Just because there's so many bloons, like I already said, and then so many spike factories, spike mines and everything. Oh, man, out of breath from talking. That shows you how out of shape I am. It's ridiculous, but yeah, it should be good. It's also kind of stuffy in my room, which I suppose makes it hard to breathe or something when I'm talking a lot. But should be fine. Should be able to survive this. Because it does look like there's a lot, but speeding up because there's less bloons. And alright, made it past that. So, obviously there was a flaw in my plan. Forgot about round 79 and all those regrow rainbows. And I already knew with the bloon shipper wasn't going to be very great against regrows. Oh, man. Had to yawn again. I'm tired. Meh. But it's fine. Also, random sort of plug, even though it's not for myself, so I guess it technically would be a sponsor, even though I'm not sponsored by it. But anyways, there's a book by a YouTuber. The book is named The Fault in Our Stars, and the YouTuber is named John Green, who is also the author. That you've probably heard about it because it's a pretty famous book, or a pretty popular book, and or a popular YouTuber, also one of the Vlog Brothers, among other things. But the book is really good. I really enjoy it. It's probably a bit more on the mature side, but it's definitely a good read. for anyone, I'd say like maybe over 15, I suppose, but shouldn't make too big of a difference. Just preferably don't read it if you're under 12, I suppose. Just a personal recommendation. But the book is really good, and the movie's coming out on Friday, so that's going to be interesting. Going to see it on Thursday, actually, just because it has like a special Thursday night showing of it, kind of like those midnight showings, kind of. But yeah, so that's a thing. Just throwing that out there. Fault in Our Stars, really interesting book. And what's actually interesting is that these are all camo rainbow regrows, which is actually more helpful for me because then the balloon chipper isn't going to be multiplying them with its balloon chipperiness. What? I don't know. But so here the balloon chipper is actually at its weakest, I suppose. Not only at its weakest, but it's not very strong against the Moab class balloons. But having 4 destroyers was actually really good. And it is good against Moab class balloons, just not that many so close together. But the destroyers did pretty well. Man, I'm yawning again. Why am I yawning so much? All I'm doing is talking. I'm not that tired. I got 46,000 cash. I should spend some of that. I'm gonna spend it on a super monkey, just because I feel like it. I'm just gonna get a sun god monkey because I accidentally upgraded it too much. But yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a sun god monkey or a rogue monkey at this point because I've got such a strong defense. But that's crazy. That's 46,000 cash. So did I upgrade it all the way? Like as far as I could? Yeah, I did. Alright. Just making sure that I did and not like ran out of money before I was getting something easy or whatever. So anyways, oh man, I'm yawning. That's a smaller yawn, but still. Anyways, got 20,000 cash. That's ridiculous. Didn't even use any banana farms. I mean, I did get a continue once, but wasn't a big deal. And of course the ZOMG, that's where the balloon chipper really shines because it's able to just totally destroy the ZOMG. It takes a couple seconds, I suppose, but just very powerful, doesn't stand a chance. And then all those blues that come out of it also don't stand a chance. So huzzah! I actually technically got 700 monkey money from that because I had to spend 200 on the continue, which is kind of lame, but understandable, I suppose. Understandable for me. So on the next episode, I could get hard cooldowns depending on what you guys comment. So that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.